Hi, Chip Chirimbes here for Proline. Week 15 of NFL action. We have college basketball and college bowl games on tap this weekend. My panelists and guests are, of course, Fairway, Jay, and John Cranton. Jay, what do you got for us this weekend? Big game winners. I know you're coming off a huge Saturday, 8-4, 3-1 in college basketball. Hit all three of your NFL releases on Sunday. And now this week, you're offering us what?
Top plays continue to roll, Chip, and it was a 3-0 sweep on the top ones last week in the NFL. Our NFL Mismatch Game of the Year goes this Sunday. You get that along with a week of NBA and college basketball. We're going to include all that for $15. Call 1-866-896-1627. Inquire about our College Bowl package. We're in action this weekend in the College Bowls. We're going to have our top plays going again this weekend. Our NFL Mismatch Game of the Year. Throwing week of college basketball, NBA, 1-866-896-1627. $15 gets it all this week, Chip.
Thanks a lot, Jay. And John, you're here for Jim Feist, and Jim's coming off his NFL Game of the Year winner, a huge win with the Giants. Brings him to 13-4-1 since 1996. That's really incredible, and I understand he has more big games scheduled for this weekend.
Yeah, I know the Giants are your team. Did you give him that selection?
Yeah, we had the Giants as well. Nice Sunday for us, 5-1 overall.
Yeah, Jim, it's bowl season this weekend, and Jim's bowl package online sells for $499. However, with the special Proline offer, if you want to play the entire bowls with Jim, it's $19. Plus, as a bonus, you get the rest of December hoops, pro and college basketball, all that for $19. And if you just prefer the NFL, he has a second offer. He has his Sunday NFL Shadow Shocker Game of the Year in the NFL. It's probably $100 online, but you get it for $10. With a high roller basketball game in college going on Sunday. Those two offers, one for $19, the bowl package, the other, that NFL play going Sunday for $10 from Jim Feist, 1-866-841-1655.
Great job, John. You know, I'm coming off a fairly good Saturday, 3-1, a 4-1 Sunday, megabucks on Monday, and we hit, of course, our NFL shocker, which was the Panthers over the Falcons, and we're really on a roll after a horrible November, but like all true champions, I'm bouncing back, and I have my NFL shocker of the year for only $10. And as fan appreciation, if you call now, you get NBA megabuck winner absolutely free. These are games you can step out on. These are games you can play with confidence. I love this NFL Shocker of the Year on Sunday. The set's up perfect. Only $10 for you. Give me a call, 866-841-1665. You'll get the game for $10 and free NBA if you call right now. NBA Megabuck winner for Thursday's action. Now, fellas, we got to start with our first bowl game of the year. I mean, there's 35 of them out there this year, and sometimes you become overwhelmed with them, but it's always exciting, even when the first one, and for us out here, it's got two West Coast teams, University of Nevada and Arizona. Jay, how do you analyze this big first opening bowl winner?
Well, this is an interesting game. Again, we've got the long rest between, and I'm going to comment on a line here. We're seeing it at 9.5 in many places. We're starting to see 10s pop up in a few places, and I think if you like Arizona, you will probably want to bet them, and if you like Nevada, I think you should wait a little bit. But the thought process here is I can make the case a little bit for Nevada in this game as a contrary play because they've not performed well coming down the stretch. But the reality is they have an offense that averages what I say is my 200 club. They run and pass for over 200 yards per game, as does Arizona. There's about 20 teams in the country that do that. Of course, we know Arizona is extremely explosive, but so is Nevada in this game. And out of the pistol formation, I think with time to prepare, Chris Alt has always been a great coach. However, if you look in his last 5 bowl games, the Nevada's failed to cover, and they've made it to 7 straight bowls. Now, they're going to be up against it here in this offense. I think we're going to see a shootout. We see a high total, but I believe they still can exceed that with these offenses. And one of the things I noted that has me a little trepidation with Nevada is that the Wildcats played a superior schedule here, probably top 15 in the country for Arizona, whereas you look at Nevada and you dig in deep into the numbers like I do, you see that this team went 1-3 straight up against the spread against 4 bowl teams out of the Mountain West this year. Remember, Nevada's now been moved to the Mountain West Conference, and in those games they were outgained by over 50 yards per game while averaging about 424, which is still below their season average. So as they step in competition, they weren't quite as strong. They got outplayed, outyarded, and that's probably going to be the case here against Arizona. That all being said, I think if there's some contrary look here, I believe the line is clearly favoring Arizona because of their better performance against stronger teams and as well how they finished versus Nevada, who seemingly struggled. But we see this all all the time, Chip and John, where you see the contrary play, you see what happens, and you're surprised in these bowl games. With time to prepare, I know Chris Ault has been very solid, and this is Rodriguez's first shot now here at Arizona in a bowl game. We know the offenses will be there. We'll see if either of these defenses can step up, but I will note, if you're liking defense and laying these points, know that Arizona's got a bottom 5 defense in the entire nation, well over 400 yards per game in this contest.
Jay, you made a real good point right off the top, is that this Nevada team is such a money burner. John, let me lead this into you. They're 2-8-1 in their last 11 non-conference games. 1-7-1 against teams with a winning record. 0-4-1 in their last 5 bowl games. How do you back a team like this in this type of situation?
Well, I'm going to take a small lead on them simply because you have 2 incredibly potent and balanced offenses. You look at this Nevada offense, 242 yards passing per game. Well, they're even better rushing the football, 7th in the nation with 260 yards per game. You got a terrific 1-2 punch with the quarterback Fajardo and Steven Jefferson. Yes, they have not been able to cover these games, but remember, they're a significant dog here, and they did play a Pac-12 team in the opener. They beat Cal 31-24. They rolled up 450 yards. I can see why Arizona is the favorite, being in their home country and a sensational offense. But here's the thing about the Wildcats. Their defense is awful, 103rd in the nation, giving up over 34 points per game. And look at some of the teams they played. They beat Toledo as a similar favorite here, 10 points. Well, that game went overtime. They didn't cover. They failed to cover against Colorado as a 29-point favorite. And even last year, they played the Buffaloes and were an 11-point favorite, lost straight up 48-29. And in last year's bowl game, they played a Sun Belt team, UL Lafayette. They were a 14-point favorite. Didn't cover again in a 45-37 game. So too big a favorite for me to be backing Arizona here against a very potent Wolfpack offense.
And, John, I gave you the ugly stats on the Nevada side. Listen to these stats on the Arizona side. Don't get too excited. They're 6-11 against the points against a team with a winning record in their last 19 contests, and 9-21 after they've accumulated 200 yards rushing in their previous game. So this Arizona team is tough to back with the numbers, and if you look at history and trends like we all do, and if we did the same thing with the Nevada squad, it's almost impossible to take a side. So I'm going to give you the total. I think this game's destined to go over. Arizona doesn't stop anybody. They're running the we have Nevada getting over 450 yards a game. Arizona's getting 400. This game is destined to go over the number, providing the weather is suitable. I don't see any reason, any way this game stays under the total. I just don't see it right now. All right, before we go to our next contest, let's go out and see our man in the street, Jeff Saad from LVSS. Jeff, what do you got for us this week?
A free total coming up. First, the bowl season starts Saturday, and you get my Las Vegas Sports Services bowl package for just $15 on my Player's Edge and best bets, including my bowl game of the year. Plus, as a bonus, you get a high roller NBA play going tonight, plus my NFL Shocker of the Year on Sunday. All this just $15. Call 1-866-575-8916. Your free totals, the 49ers of the Patriots, a running team against a great passing offense. Who will control the tempo? Well, the 49ers played 3 great passing attacks, the Packers, Lions, and the Saints, and held them to 22, 19, and 21 points, winning all 3. This defense is outstanding, second against the pass, third against the run, with the kind of pass rush you need against Tom Brady. The Pats were all about going over the total in the first half of the season, but now the weather is cold and windy in the Northeast. Brady is without 2 key targets, tight end Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman, and 2 weeks ago they faced a Miami team that could stuff the run and rush the passer and scored 23 points. 49ers are 4-1 under the total in December. Play the 49ers and Patriots to stay under the total. Once again, the bowl season starts Saturday. You get my LVSS Player's Edge and best bets, including my bowl game of the year, off just $15. Plus, as a bonus, you get a high roller NBA play going tonight, plus my NFL Shocker of the Year on Sunday, all for $15. Call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Now we're back into college basketball action. This is always a great time of the year for all of us. You know that college basketball is a big moneymaker for us. We do it each and every day. And on Saturday, John and Jay, we got a plethora of games out there. But we're going to start, and we're going to deal with one college basketball game here that seems kind of interesting. We're going to have Purdue at Notre Dame. And Purdue, John, just has not come along like they have in the past. Usually they're a Big Ten power and strength. But it looks like Notre Dame is going to be the bully in the Midwest this year.
Yeah, this is a game where you have a clash of contrasts and styles here. Youth versus experience. Notre Dame having a phenomenal season with all that experience. 8-1. This Purdue team, yeah, they won 22 games last year, but a lot of turnover. They got a losing record right now. You got the true freshman, Ronnie Johnson, in the backcourt. They have a big guy up front, a 7-footer, in A.J. Hammonds, but he is also a freshman. They can rebound. They're a top 10 rebounding team, but this youth and inexperience is certainly hurting them right now. They come off just a terrible game against Eastern Michigan, shooting under 30%. The defense was great, allowing 31%, but boy, their free throws were 12 of 20. That's also indicative of a young team. They are going to have to slow this pace down. When the Boilermakers play non-conference games, they do exactly that, 13-4 under the total, and I think they're going to slow the pace down against Notre Dame. And when the Irish come off a spread win, they are a phenomenal team under the total the next game, 36-16-1 under. So I'm looking at a slow-paced game. I think Purdue can really slow it down. That's the only way they're going to do it, and a game to go under the total.
All right, thank you, John. You know, Jay, this Purdue team looks ugly. They lose to Eastern Michigan. How do you lose that contest? I mean, this is a Big Ten power. They're at 4-5 entering this contest. Notre Dame beats Kentucky impressively on TV, and it looks like they have the big guns. Can the Boilermakers stay with them at all?
Well, first, this is a neutral site game, and you're going to see Notre Dame a pretty good-sized single-digit favorite here. Yet, I've followed a lot of the Big Ten and the matchups. I often get into listening to teleconferences, the coaching teleconferences. I've always been impressed with Matt Painter. I think he's one of the premier coaches, I think, in the country. He just does a great job, but he's got his work cut out this year. We're seeing, kind of the struggles and signs. John made some good points, about the freshman and the big center, the 7-footer Hammonds is going to probably be a good player for him. And right now he's their leading rebounder. They've got 5 rebounders between 4 and 6 a game, but they're going to have a tough time here against Notre Dame. The fact that they just come off that Eastern Michigan loss where it was 47-44, and now they're going to play a much more physical team, and we saw how good I think Notre Dame potentially can be by matching up against a lot of good athletes and then beating Kentucky 64-50. I'm right with John. I have an idea that this game is going to be in the high single digits. From a side perspective, the total, we'll see where it is. It could come lower than 130, but I still think that Purdue and Coach Painter knows that the way he's got to keep in this game is to slow it, make it a possession game, and slow it down. We talked about this last week's show with the Clemson-Arizona game. We ended up playing that game under the total in a similar situation, and I think Purdue's going to have to do the same. As long as they're not in a blowout where Notre Dame's able to continue to push the pace in any way, I think this could be a grinder. But when you start to get into those kind of situations and you expect a lower-scoring game, then it's always difficult to lay more points. But right now, physically, I think talent-wise, Purdue's not matching up, and Notre Dame, I think, will bring a good effort as well this week.
All right. Thank you, Jay. So we got 2. I think, John, for the most part, you like the points in this one, and Jay would rather lay it than take it. I don't know how solid we'd be on either side. 2 trends I can give you in this contest, which might aid Purdue a little bit. They're 7-3 in their last 10 road games against the number. And this is all about the number as far as we're concerned. And Notre Dame in non-conference games is 4-11-2 in their last 17. So a little trend edge would possibly go to Purdue here. I find it difficult to lay double digits if it gets to that point. So I would lean toward Purdue coming up with a solid effort and trying to keep this one close and not embarrass themselves. All right, that's it for our college football bowl matchup and our college basketball contest. Now we're going to go to the best bets and have our panelists let you know what we're doing for the weekend. Jay, why don't we start with you, and why don't you let everyone know what's going on for you on Saturday?
All right, let's start with our best bet this week. I'm talking to John here, and this should be a shootout here. We see a lot of these early college football bowl games get high scoring, and we've got a high one posted here at 75 and change with Nevada and Arizona. But looking at the numbers, I don't see how either team's going to slow the other. This should be a real battle with the explosive offenses, and then add in just a really poor defense, especially on the Arizona side. I know Arizona's not going to let up here, and Nevada will be more than capable of matching points. So over the total is your best bet. And again, this week, we're going to include college basketball and NBA, a full week, along with our NFL, which we've been just nailing the top plays. And this week, our NFL mismatch game of the year goes. You can get all that for $15 if you call 1-866-896-1627 and inquire about our bowl package. We'll hopefully have a good free play winner on that total this week and get you more involved upcoming through the rest of the bowl season.
All right, thank you, Jay. John, you got a best bet and something else for us?
Sure, we'll go Sunday in the NFL. The Cowboys are playing with the Steelers over the total. The Steelers are 6-2 over the total the last 8 road games. Cowboys at home 4-1 run over the total. 2 above-average quarterbacks, a lot of skill position speed. And this week we find out that another injury to the defensive backfield for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin admitted we're going to have to simplify this game plan defensively in the defensive schemes because of that. So I see a lot of points in this relatively indoor game in Dallas. Steelers, Cowboys over the total. Jim Feist has a couple of offers. One is the bowl package. All of his bowl games, $19, including the College Bowl Game of the Year. If you sign up today, you get December hoops, pro and college thrown in. All this for $19. And remember, on Sunday, ask about Jim's NFL Shadow Shocker Game of the Year. It's $100 online, but you can get it for $10 with a high roller college basketball game. Both games for $10. All this at 1-866-841-1655 from Jim Feist.
All right, thank you, John. As far as my best bet for the college edition of our Proline show, I'm going to have to piggyback with you, Jay. I'm sorry to have to ride on your coattails, but I think that game is destined to go over the total. This Arizona-Nevada bowl game, I just don't see how it stays under the number. So my best bet for the panel, of course, would be for that game to go over the total. Your best bet this weekend is to get a hold of my NFL Major Shocker, coming off the Panthers beating Atlanta outright, a 3-1 Saturday, a 4-1 Sunday. We have Monday night, we've got the Patriots, who just crushed the Houston Texans, and more of the same. The big games and the big money around the line. $10 gets you the Major Shocker. And if you call now, you get my NFL Megabucks absolutely free. Give me a call, 866-841-1665. Just say Chip wins, and you'll get the Major Shocker for only $10 and a fan-friendly NBA free Megabuck winner. Well, there we have it for our college edition, college basketball. We gave you Notre Dame and Purdue, college football bowl action. This is Chip Chirimbes coming in from Proline, and we have Fairway Jay, and of course, John Cranton from Jim Feist Sports. We'll be back again next week for college and pro and our early preview edition of NFL play. Chip Chirimbes for the Proline panel saying thanks for viewing, and we'll catch you again next week.